Do you guys remember a couple months back when there was this huge controversy about this new transgender athlete who placed number one in women's swimming after transitioning? That was Leah Thomas. It was a huge story, super big. Everyone was talking about it. And the reason everyone was talking about it was because Leah Thomas placed number one in women's swimming. And obviously they're trans. And then before, it was William Thomas, who ranked number 432 spot in men's swimming. And so there was this whole big news cycle about it, on whether it was fair, what was going on, and what should be done about it. And you know what? The courts have finally came to a decision for at least America, and I think this could change sports, probably forever. I'm taking a look at my analytics, and only 2% of the people watching this video right now are actually subscribed to the channel. Consider subscribing. It's free and you can always change your mind later. It recently came out that they decided to make it ineligible for transgender members of the opposite sex to compete the women's swimming category if they transition after the age of 12. So pretty much if you went through the male puberty, you can no longer compete in women's swimming. And I mean, honestly, to me that makes a whole lot of sense. I think we all deep down know that men who have went through male puberty have obviously experienced, different muscle strengthening and different male things. I don't know the whole science between it, but yeah, they've experienced a lot more. And if they've went through male puberty, they're pretty much saying there's an obvious advantage of it. As much as some people might not want to hear it, I completely agree. Leah Thomas placed number one, where William Thomas, the exact same person, just slightly different, placed 460 something, 430, I don't remember, something really low in the male division. And so they're finally changing that. But here comes Caitlyn Jenner. Now, if you didn't know Caitlyn Jenner, they're part of the Jenner family, all those Kylie Jenners and Khloe Jenner and all those, the Kardashian family. I don't care for them, but I know they're pretty popular. And for a long time, people have seen Caitlyn Jenner as a big icon for the trans community. Obviously, Caitlyn used to be Bruce, and then he transitioned to a woman. And so Caitlyn Jenner has been, one of the biggest persons in the trans community. And obviously, a lot of the trans people look up to Caitlyn Jenner. And so people were feeling betrayed when she tweeted, "It worked. I took a lot of heat, but what's fair is fair. If you go through male puberty, you should not be able to take away medals from females, period." And then she linked to an article pretty much stating, that you can no longer participate. And sure, the tweet got 80,000 likes, so I think the majority of people agree with her. And I'm on Caitlyn's side, but I think a lot of her community, the trans community, felt betrayed by this for some reason. I don't know why. When you're, a big voice like Caitlyn Jenner is in the trans community, they pretty much just think, and this isn't exclusive to the trans community. This is a lot of communities where you pretty much have to agree with every single set of rules that the community goes out for, even if you don't personally agree with them. You have to agree with them to stay on their good side. And Caitlyn Jenner obviously is so big that she can afford to go past the mob of people that disagree with her, because obviously most of the trans community want to see trans athletes compete with the transitioned gender they think they are. And so they wanted to see Leah Thomas, formerly William Thomas, perform in the women's division, even if he has an unfair advantage. And so of course she was getting a lot of flack in the comments, and people were saying, "Oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about," and they felt betrayed. But if anything, I think Caitlyn Jenner knows, she's probably the biggest voice of what's up. She knows what's going on the most. If you didn't know, Bruce Jenner, formerly, won a gold medal at the Olympics. And so he/she has seen firsthand, the biological difference between male athletes and female athletes. And so if someone, I want to take Caitlyn Jenner's opinion, I take it the most, because Caitlyn Jenner has obviously pretty much lived through this entire experience. I think she has the most experience on this issue. I mean, she was an Olympic athlete, so she in her male prime, and now she's transitioned into a woman, so she obviously knows more about this this topic than I think the majority of people do, even in the trans community. I mean, I wouldn't know about. Obviously, I think male athletes are stronger than female athletes, but I mean, I definitely take Caitlyn Jenner's word over it, because when he was he won a gold athlete, and I think this is a big thing for sports, and I think it's going to be used in other things. I think it's really important. I wish it was a little more, you know what I mean? Now, they said if you transition over the age of 12, which is a good starting point. I'm just very afraid that I think it's crazy that 12-year-olds can't transition their gender. I don't think it should be acceptable at all. You can't drive until you're 16. You can't drink alcohol until you're 21, but you can, go on puberty blockers when you're 12. Who thinks that's okay? And that's pretty much what they're saying. Obviously, they didn't specify whether they wanted people to do this, but they pretty much said, hey, if you think your kid's going to be a good athlete, you got to transition them before the age of 12. You better get at it. And that's still legal. I would have preferred if they just said nothing at all, because I'm not exactly sure how puberty changes a lot of features of men. Obviously it changes them. I know that, but I don't know how it changes certain parts of you. Like, I know men take in oxygen more easily, and they have a higher lung capacity. I don't know how puberty changes that, if at all. I'm sure maybe it does, but I don't know to the amount. But yeah, let's say even after the age of 12, you still have higher lung capacity, and so you can do more with less exertion. I mean, how will that affect sports? And it concerns me, because I know there's plenty of parents, I see on libs of TikTok and that kind of thing, their kindergartner son wearing a dress, and like, yeah, we're gonna put him on puberty blockers as soon as possible. And it's like, yeah, I think this bill kind of enables that bad parenting, and I think that's the next thing they should go for. If they want to transition while they're adult, I mean, I can't say anything bad or good about it, but at least it's better than 12-year-olds doing it. I hear a lot of people that suffer from taking these puberty blockers and regretting it, unfortunately, and they can't take it back because puberty only happens once. And so I'd like to see them do it until like at least 18. I think that's a fair point to get in, and I think this bill somewhat stops short of it, but I think it's a good stepping stone. And I mean, honestly, if it was that big of a problem, I mean, there's plenty of trans athletes, apparently, all of a sudden we're hearing all about them. So why not just make a separate league for them? You know what I mean? If it's that big of a deal, you might as well. I mean, it'd be great promotion, I suppose, for the trans community, especially when you see some of these athletes going so crazy and, doing really good. So I don't know. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.